We love a good fan theory, and this Tumblr theory is blowing our minds. Is Disney's Moana really just The Little Mermaid in reverse? Stay tuned to hear all about this theory. Are you a Disney fanatic like we are? Click subscribe for more amazing videos all about Disney and more. Now, let's check out this Moana and Little Mermaid theory. This crazy fan theory covers the whole plot of both Moana and The Little Mermaid. In case it's been a while since you've seen them, let's take a look at what each movie was all about. Moana. In 2016, Disney released Moana, and it instantly became a huge hit. With a fierce new princess, a hilarious demigod, and one amazing soundtrack, Moana might be one of the greatest Disney movies ever. The movie starts with an explanation of the history of the Pacific Islanders, at least the Disney version of the history. A goddess named Te Fiti created all the life of the islands. Then she fell asleep and became an island herself. The demigod Maui stole Te Fiti's heart and had to confront a giant lava monster called Te Kā. But Maui got away and the heart was lost. Because the heart was stolen, the islanders were cursed. That's pretty messed up considering it wasn't their fault. 1,000 years later, we see a toddler version of Moana. She finds Te Fiti's heart, which tries to lead her into the sea, but her dad, the chief of their island, is terrified of the sea. He lost his best friend years ago at sea, so he doesn't let his village go explore. So he pulls Moana away. But Moana's people have always been sea explorers. She feels like the sea is where she belongs. Moana's father, Tui, is training Moana to be the next chief, but that's not where her heart is. Moana's grandmother tells her about the curse and gives Moana Te Fiti's heart. Te Fiti's curse reaches Moana's island, and all of the fish start dying. The people are going to starve, but Tui will not allow them to go out further into the sea. Moana's grandmother passes away, and the last thing she tells Moana is to go out and save their people. Moana steals a boat and, along with her dumb chicken Hei, sets out to stop the curse. The ocean leads Moana to a small island where Maui, the thieving demigod, lives. She tries to convince him to help her return the heart, but he's too scared. But the ocean keeps putting Moana in his way until he agrees to help her. They encounter pirates, and they have to descend into the realm of monsters so Maui can get his magical fish hook. It's held by a giant man-eating crab named Tamatoa. The crab is evil, but he's hilarious, and he loves talking about himself. Maui teaches Moana how to sail, and she helps him regain his ability to shapeshift. But they fight and get discouraged. The ocean leads Moana to Te Fiti's island where she's confronted by Te Kā. She wants to return the heart, and she realizes the lava monster is actually Te Fiti without her heart. Moana returns the heart, and Te Fiti lifts the curse. Moana returns to her people and becomes the new chief. She leads her people to become seafaring explorers again, like they were meant to be.
Beautiful cave, she's gonna love it. And I'm going to love you.
The Little Mermaid. 27 years before Moana, Disney released The Little Mermaid. The 1989 film was a retelling of a classic fairy tale, but with a much happier ending. At the beginning of the movie, we meet Prince Eric. Then we go under the sea to meet King Triton. He's upset that his daughter Ariel is nowhere to be found. Ariel is excavating a shipwreck with her fish friend Flounder. She's obsessed with all things human, and she desperately wants to be one. She wants to walk on ground with feet and see new things. King Triton forbids his kingdom from going to the surface, and he sends Sebastian the crab to watch over Ariel. Ariel has a whole secret collection of human artifacts. She wants nothing more than to visit their world. She is obsessed AF. She then sees Prince Eric and falls in love at first sight. When Eric is thrown into the water by a storm, Ariel saves him and returns him to shore. He catches a glimpse of her, but is determined to find her. Sebastian tries to convince Ariel that staying under the sea is better, but it's no use. Ursula, the sea witch, has been spying on Ariel, and she wants to collect Ariel for her collection of dreamers. When Triton finds out that Ariel is in love with Eric, he destroys all of her human artifacts. Ariel runs away and comes across Ursula. Ursula grants Ariel's wish of becoming human, but it's an evil deal. Ariel has 3 days to get kissed by Prince Eric to stay human. If she doesn't get kissed, she'll belong to Ursula forever. Plus, she steals Ariel's voice and leaves her mute, trapping her voice in a necklace. Seriously, never make a deal with an evil sea witch. Ariel, unable to speak, finds herself on land. She covers herself in a sail, and Eric finds her. He takes her to his palace. Eric starts falling in love with this strange girl who cannot speak. Ariel is in love with him, and she loves the human world. Ursula does not want Ariel to succeed in kissing Eric, so she disguises herself as a beautiful human named Vanessa. She uses Ariel's trapped voice to hypnotize Eric, and they begin to plan a wedding. A bunch of sea creatures stop the wedding, and Ariel regains her voice. But before Eric can kiss her, she turns back into a mermaid and disappears with Ursula. Eric goes after her, and there's a big battle. Ursula is defeated, and Triton realizes that Ariel really will be happier as a human. He transforms her back into a human, and she and Prince Eric live happily ever after.
But if I just stand here long enough, I know
She's
that I'll...
got legs, you idiot!
The fan theory. At first glance, you wouldn't think Moana and The Little Mermaid have much in common, right? Besides taking place on the sea, they seem to be very different movies. But Tumblr user Intergalactic Ashkenazi made a post that is really interesting. He suggests that Moana is just the story of The Little Mermaid, but backwards. Sounds crazy, right? Well, just hear us out. First of all, The Little Mermaid is about a sea princess who wants to go to land. Moana is about a land princess, well, chief's daughter, who wants to go to the sea. In The Little Mermaid, the big scary ocean lady is the enemy. But in Moana, the big scary ocean lady is good. Ursula traps Ariel's voice in a magical necklace, so the story features a magical necklace used for evil. Moana's grandmother gives Moana Te Fiti's heart inside of a necklace, so the movie has a magical necklace used for good. In The Little Mermaid, there's a small good crab named Sebastian. In Moana, there's a crab too, but Tamatoa is a giant evil crab, the exact opposite of Sebastian. Speaking of the crabs, Tumblr user Rosen Likes Books added on to the original theory in a new note. He points out that in The Little Mermaid, a man sings about eating a crab, but in Moana, a crab sings about eating a man. That's crazy. There might be something to this theory after all. The similarities in reverse don't end there. Another note by Aster Luna Nova adds on to the fan theory. Ariel sings about enjoying life with new people and wanting to join them. At the beginning of Moana, she and the villagers sing about enjoying life with their people and staying put. Both Ariel and Moana are destined to rule their kingdoms, and neither of them are very happy about this idea. Ariel removes herself from the sea and goes far away so she won't rule. Moana embraces her destiny and instead takes her kingdom far away to explore more and more of the sea. Finally, in The Little Mermaid, Ariel sings on a rock. In Moana, a rock sings to her. That is one compelling fan theory, don't you think? But was this deliberately done by Disney? We think Disney at least partially recognized the parallels. In the Moana post-credit scene, there is a direct mention of The Little Mermaid. We see the giant evil crab, Tamatoa, is still left on his back. He wonders if people would care for him more if he was a Jamaican crab named Sebastian. It was so funny.
I tried to stop us. She wouldn't listen.
Moana is the Lord of the Rings. Not everyone agrees that Moana is basically The Little Mermaid backwards. Tumblr user Bouncing Bumble pointed out that there are a ton of similarities between Moana and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. In case you aren't familiar with the Lord of the Rings, here's a quick overview. An evil monster named Sauron forged a ring of power, but he lost it. It ends up in the hands of Frodo, a hobbit who just wants a quiet life. The ring is evil and it has to be destroyed, but lots of good people, including Sauron, wants it. Frodo goes on a journey to destroy the ring in Mount Doom. He goes with 3 other hobbits, 2 men, an elf and a dwarf, and a wizard. In the first movie, they all get separated. A massive war breaks out and all the characters have different roles to play. Frodo successfully destroys the ring, bringing peace to the land of the Middle-earth. There are 3 movies that came out in the early 2000s, but they're based on 3 books by J.R.R. Tolkien from the mid-1900s. The fan theory that Moana and the Lord of the Rings are the same starts like this. There's a small but powerful token. In Moana, it's the heart of Te Fiti. In Lord of the Rings, it's the ring. Both of these tokens were taken by a powerful hero who didn't know what they were in for, and they are defeated, losing these tokens to the water. These heroes are Maui and Isildur. 2 eccentric old people find these tokens, and it gives them a very long life. This is Moana's grandmother and Frodo's uncle, Bilbo. They pass it on to their younger relatives, and their health immediately fails. Frodo and Moana both have dark hair and doe eyes, and they both wear their special token on a necklace. They both try to get someone else to take on the responsibility, but they discover they have to do the quest themselves. They encounter a ton of dangers, and their final final battle is at a powerful volcano. In Moana, this is Te Kā. In Lord of the Rings, it's Mount Doom. They return their tokens to their source. The ring was made in Mount Doom, and Te Fiti gets her heart back. Giant birds come to save the day. Maui transforms into a giant eagle, and the giant eagles save Frodo from Mount Doom. There's a big dramatic tower, and both movies end with a tiny boat sailing into the sunset. Moana takes her people to explore the sea, and Frodo goes to the Undying Lands with the elves. Basically, this fan theory suggests that Moana is the Lord of the Rings without the real deep evil and way less violence. And it's way funnier than the epic fantasy film too. Which theory is correct? Both of these Tumblr users make some really great points. We aren't sure we can imagine the creators of Moana sitting around trying to turn the Lord of the Rings into a Disney movie, but the parallels between the two films are insane. Now, the theory that Moana is basically a reverse Little Mermaid might be more realistic. Disney princess movies, especially the ones before the 1900s, get a lot of criticism. Movies like The Little Mermaid often depict their princesses as just wanting a man to marry and live happily ever after. In the 90s, this changed a bit with Mulan. These princesses were able to fight their own battles and save their people, but they still had love stories. The more modern Disney movies really try to portray these heroines as strong, independent young women.
I could watch that all day. Okay, enjoy the island. Maui, out!
Brave was the first Disney princess movie with no love story at all. In Frozen, Anna may have found love, but Queen Elsa didn't. And Moana had way better things to do than fall in love and get married anyways. Do you think Moana is the reverse story of The Little Mermaid? Don't be shy, come let us know in the comments below. And that's it for this wild fan theory that Moana is just The Little Mermaid backwards. Give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. See you later!